Today I'm going to talk about why I hate bookstores. I'm not. I don't. But I am going to tell you why focusing on bookstores is a terrible way to build a career as a small press or self-published writer. So if you want to make money, bookstores ain't where it's going to happen, kids. Stick around and I'll tell you why. Hey there. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. I'm John Hartness. I'm the founder and publisher of Falstaff Books, as well as the author of some 40-odd novels, including The Black Knight Chronicles, Bubba the Monster Hunter, Quincy Harker Demon Hunter, and a pile of other stuff. And today, I'm going to blaspheme. And not in the normal way that I blaspheme when I step on a D4 walking in the middle of the night, or I stub my toe and I say words that make my mother roll over in her grave. I'm going to blaspheme against some of the praise and love that people heap on bookstores. And I'm going to tell you why bookstores are not how you build a career as a self-published or small press author, and why. So there's going to be a fair amount of hate directed at this video, and a lot of people are going to tell me why I'm wrong. And I do not care. It's my channel. I can be as wrong as I want. Nah. I'm not wrong, unfortunately. Here's the thing. I love bookstores. I love shopping in them. I love talking to booksellers. I love getting recommendations from them. And I don't make crap off bookstore sales. 9% of our company's gross revenue for the year 2025 so far, and it is December, so far covers most of the year, has come from bookstore sales. And that actually includes Amazon print, which is only technically and tangentially a bookstore. It's really more like 4 or 5% comes from actual bookstore sales. Why is that? We're a successful small press. Why aren't our books on the shelves of every Barnes & Noble everywhere? Because the bookstore market in the United States is broken and stupid, and I will not participate fully in it the way it exists today. Wow, that's a big statement, isn't it? I just called an entire industry stupid. How can I get away with doing that? Well, one, like I said, it is my channel, and I can say whatever stupid crap I want. But I came to writing and publishing as career 2. I mean, probably more like career 5, because I did a whole lot of different weird side hustles. But the world I came from was sales. I worked in business-to-business sales for theatrical lighting equipment. I worked for a company called Barbizon Lighting, and we were the largest distributor of theatrical lighting equipment in the world at the time I was there. We bought gear like the lights I use right here in my studio. Like the little colored light I use for the backdrop in my studio. We bought stuff, we sold stuff, we made profit. Bookstores don't buy books. Oh? Bookstores don't buy books. The vast majority of the books on the shelf at your local bookstore, be it a Barnes & Noble, be it CVS, be it Walmart, be it a great indie bookstore, and I have some great indie bookstores near me, they haven't paid for those yet. Those books are on consignment. The vast majority of books that are purchased into a bookstore are sold with full returns allowed. That means that if that book gets ordered and it doesn't sell, it goes back to the distributor. That means that the store doesn't have to pay for it until you walk in the door and buy it. You know who does have to pay for that book the second it gets printed? The publisher or the author if you're a self-published author, because then you're the publisher too. The book doesn't get bought until you as a human walk in the bookstore and buy it. But the publisher has to pay for it from the moment someone orders it to ship it to a store. And they have 90 days to sell that book or send it back for a full credit. And the author or publisher is then on the hook for not only the cost of printing the book, but shipping to the store and shipping back if you choose to have the book shipped back and then sent to you. If you choose not to, the book is destroyed. I've watched small publishers either go bankrupt or go right up to the edge of bankruptcy because of this. I don't know how many Barnes & Nobles there are in the United States. We're going to use a nice round number that is probably low, and we're going to say 5,000. Yeah, it's about, I don't know. We're going to say there's 5,000 Barnes & Nobles in the United States. Let's say you have a brand new book, and Barnes & Noble thinks this book is great, and it's in hardcover, so they're going to push it. Okay, every Barnes & Noble in the country orders 2 copies. That's 10,000 copies. That book costs you, the publisher, $10 to print. It costs more than that. We're using round numbers because I'm doing this on the fly and I am a product of the South Carolina public education system. So we're going to do easy math, okay? You're now on the hook for $100,000 worth of books that have been shipped out all over the United States. If they all sell, then rock on, you've made money. If they don't sell, let's say you've done really well and you've sold half of that initial order. You've sold 5,000 copies. Awesome. I've got $50,000 coming back to me. Even more because the store's going to pay more than it cost me to print. But I'm still on the hook for those 5,000 copies that didn't sell. And I told my distributor that I wanted those returned. So I got to find a place to put them. And I got to pay shipping on the way back. So if you get 50% returns, which is high, but has happened, you might be revenue neutral. Maybe. What's more likely is that you're deep, deep, deep in the hole. Yeah, you're deep in the hole. Because really, you're probably making $2 a copy on those books. So you sold 5,000 copies, you made 10 grand in profit. Okay, rock on. You still got a $50,000 invoice sitting there. By the way, it's now $60,000 because each of those 5,000 books that's coming back to you, they're charging you about $2 a piece to send them to you. So you got a $60,000 invoice and $10,000 in profit. So you still have a $50,000 invoice. And you got to find somewhere to put 5,000 books. Making your books returnable for a teeny tiny press is potentially suicidal. And making your books returnable at the rate that they want you to sell them to them at, which is you're probably setting up a 55% discount when you're setting the book up with your distributor, because that way your distributor gets their cut and the bookstore gets 40 or 45% off cover price, and you're getting 45% of cover. That's going to drive your cover price up to a point where nobody buys the damn thing. So I love bookstores. But if you are a small press author, you cannot focus your marketing attention on bookstores. If you are a self-published author, many bookstores won't look at your book. They don't care. Your local indie bookstore that you have had a relationship with for years might take 4 copies on consignment and might be willing to do a signing for you in their store for your very first ever book, and they might take the books on consignment, which means you walk in with cases of books and you give the bookstore 40% of everything that they sell just for providing the real estate. This is not a sustainable business practice for a small press or a self-published author. Well, but how do I make a living, John? You don't make a living on print. We are a successful small press. Less than a quarter of our annual income comes from print. You make your money on digital products if you are a small press or a self-published author. You make your money on getting ebooks to readers. You don't mess with the middleman of a bookstore for your ebooks and for your audiobooks. And those items are significantly more profitable, and you can sell more of them, and you have greater reach. So it's not that I hate bookstores. It's not that I don't love bookstore employees and booksellers. I do love them. I think they fill a very important role in the publishing ecosystem. You, as a self-published author, just aren't going to really be part of it. And I'm sorry. Yeah, sometimes somebody breaks loose and turns into a huge bookstore hit. Dungeon Crawler Carl, for example, filling up bookshelves all over the country this year, right? 5 years into the publication history of that series, and the vast majority of those books still being sold on audio and ebook. Those are rights that Matt Dinneman retained because the publisher couldn't pay enough money to wrest those away from him. Good for him, and a lesson for you. If you are self-publishing, focus your efforts on where the money is. This is a short one today. I just wanted to get all of this rant about bookstores into one little video. So that's all we got. Go ahead, flame me in the comments. Tell me what a moron I am and how you would never have made a career if it weren't for bookstores. Tell me I'm wrong. I like the engagement. If you'd like to give us a like, give us a subscribe, all of that's awesome. And if you want to see your name in the end of every video like these folks, you can give us a membership, and that also helps support the channel for only like $5 a month for y'all. So I'll see you next time when I've got something else to gripe about. Bye.